Well guys, good news is you don't have to remind me to check the tire in a few days. Bad news is it's already going down quite a lot. Yesterday when I checked it, it had about 15 pounds in it before I put the air in, and now today it's got 15 pounds in it. So I had filled it up to 40 psi, so that's a pretty considerable leak. So let's get the tire off, spray it down with some soapy water, and find out where it's leaking from. So the first step in repairing a tire that is low or flat is to take the tire off. For that you're going to need a jack, some jack stands, and a tire wrench. Now the easiest way to get the tires off is using impact, like an air gun, but I'm going to be using all hand tools today to show you that you don't need all the big equipment to do this job yourself. Now I strongly recommend, if you're using hand tools, to break the lug nuts loose while the vehicle is still on the ground. It's a lot easier without the tire spinning around. Once you got the lug nuts broke loose, next step is to jack the vehicle up. I always recommend either on the axle or on the frame somewhere. You want to make sure you got a good jack point, otherwise your jack might go through the floor of your car or through the radiator. I've seen that happen before. So you got the jack under there. Whoops, we're gonna hold this. And got a bit of a shadow there. See it going up. Well, that was unintentionally exciting. The little platform on the jack, I guess, wasn't in there quite right and it popped out. Luckily the truck wasn't too high yet. Now make sure you guys use a jack stand. You don't want to be trusting the hydraulic jack by itself. These things can fail and fall, and you don't want the car to fall on you. So once you got the jack stand in place, just take a little bit of pressure off the jack and make sure it holds it. There we go. And once that's done, it is now safe to work on taking the tire actually off. Sorry guys, I forgot to turn the camera back on there, but once the lug nuts are off, the tire just pulls right off. Just like that. So the next step is to find where the leak is. Before I spray it down with soapy water, I'm going to do a visual inspection to see if I notice any kind of nails or any sharp objects sticking out of the tire that might be causing leaks, so it kind of points me in the direction where the leak is probably coming from. Let's have a quick look at the tire. Usually the most obvious spot to check is in the tread somewhere. So let's roll the tire back and forth and see if we can find something. Okay. Before you spray it down with soapy water, it's best to re-inflate the tire to the proper pressure. Hopefully then it'll push the leak to be at its max, make it easier to see. So now One thing I did forget to mention is a common place for tires to leak that most guys don't think check out is this stem right here. It's just a little rubber piece, and as it gets older it wears every time you put air in or out of it, or just rub going down the road like that. So make sure you spray that down too. So any soapy water will work, any kind of cleaning agent that will cause it to bubble will work. So just spray down the tire and look for any bubbles forming, because that'll tell you where the leak is coming from. Okay, doing the sidewall here. Don't see anything apparent from this side. Let's go flip it over. Put the tire on its side. Okay. And repeat the process. And after a few minutes of sitting with some soapy water on it, we found the leak. It's a very slow leak. It's a big bubble there. I'm gonna have to do some more investigation to see exactly where it is, but it's a good start. Well there guys, I don't know if you can see there's a hole right there. There's a rock or something in there. I dug it out and sprayed it down, and the bubble came from right that spot. So that's where a leak is. See, the bubble comes as soon as I spray it. So that's where we gotta fix. So, while the tire does have a leak, it's good news. It's right in the middle of the tread, so it can be plug patched. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a plug patch properly. Now this can only be done when you find the obstruction, able to move it, and able to remove it, and it's somewhere towards the middle of the tread. You can't do it if it's on the sidewall or close to the sidewall, because those are failure points and those can cause big blowouts. So you can't fix it then. If you got something that close to the sidewall, you're gonna have to get a new tire, unfortunately. Okay guys, in order to fix this tire, you need something called tire reamer, plugger, and patch kit. They're not that expensive. I think I paid like 10 bucks for this. It saves you going to a shop and getting them to do it. They'll probably charge 30 bucks to fix it for you. So then the first step is to make the hole bigger. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but that's what you got to do. You got to make sure that the plug can go into the hole. Okay, before I go and dig in that hole deeper, I'm gonna get the plug ready. So the first thing to do is you got to pull these guys out. These are the actual plugs. Remove one of them, which I have done here, and then feed it through the reamer tool like that. Get that ready. And after you've got that done, you want to spread this cement over it. This will help seal it better. Just gonna put the camera down to do that. Okay, so we relocate the hole. This is the reamer tool. You want to push this in here, straight down. Make sure you get a good clean hole so that you can push the other one through. Like that. Plug it in like that. There we go. You should be able to pull straight out. And you're left with something that looks like that sticking out. Next step is to grab an X-Acto knife or a sharp instrument and just trim it off. No, so just grab an X-Acto knife, something like that, and just trim the excess off, the stuff you don't need. Make sure not to gouge your tire. Oh. Well, that was a fail. Okay guys, sorry, the first one failed because I twisted a bit when I pulled it out. You don't want to twist it when you're removing the plug tool because it'll hold the plug in there so it was sticking out a bit. You want to pull straight out. So I did it a second time, now it's holding air. You guys are hearing a hissing noise, it's actually coming from my chuck. This guy here, and not the tire. But before I put the tire back on the truck, I'm just going to spray it down some soapy water again to make sure. I don't see any bubbles forming, so I think it's good to put it back on the truck. There we go. There we go. Whew. Putting the tire back on is always my least favorite part. Just because these tires are so heavy. Let me just put the lug nuts back on. I always do my lug nuts about hand tight before I lower the truck again, just to make sure that the rim's not gonna kick out or do anything weird. Make sure that it's in there fairly good. See them all hand tight, ready to go. Make sure you jack the truck up again a bit. Just take the weight off the jack stand. Get under there. You want to reach under there. Pull the jack stand up. There you go. And then you want to slowly twist the handle on the jack to drop it. There we go. For anyone that doesn't know what your tire pressure should be set at, I'm sure in most modern cars they'll probably tell you on the display or the infotainment center. But for the older cars, it's actually written on the door on a tag just like this. So it'll say the tire size, and then it'll say what the PSI should be set at. It'll say PSI cold. So the tires for the stock tires for this pickup truck would be, they recommend 35 PSI. But since this truck is over 40 years old, we're not running the stock tires anymore because they don't make 16.5-inch tires. Well, they do, but they're very expensive and hard to find. So I'm running 17-inch rims. So I fill it up to 40 PSI. And a handy tip, guys, even after the tires have been patched, pack up the kit again and put it back in your vehicle. Because the kit comes with a few of those patches, so you can use it multiple times, and then even after you run out of the patches, you can buy the patches themselves separately, so you don't have to buy the reamer and everything next time for a fraction of the cost. There we go, guys. The whole process took me about an hour. So, and probably could have done it a little faster if I wasn't filming everything. So there you go.